Welcome back to my channel. Guys, so this is episode 2 of 10 Talk. I'm gonna tell you about one specific thing about myself that not much people know. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Today's segment is gonna be a little long. Many of you actually don't know that I'm partially deaf. Yes, deaf. So I don't know exactly when my mom realized it, but I don't hear as well as the average person. I'm not legally deaf, so I can operate as a normal student, and I just don't hear as well as other people. I do, however, sometimes need a hearing aid, and if my sinus gets really bad or I get cold really bad, my ear is affected. I'll explain what it is, and I will tell you how I've maneuvered my life thus far with it, and how it affects me, and how things change sometimes. So, like I said, I'm not legally deaf, but I do need a hearing aid sometimes because I don't hear as well as other people. I don't know sign language, although I wish I did, and I probably would like to learn one day. I read lips unconsciously, and I realized it a little while ago, a couple of years ago. I realized that I do read lips. So you could only imagine how this COVID situation is affecting me with this whole mask wearing thing. That wear a mask. Don't say I say to wear a mask. Wear a mask, but I literally hate to go anywhere because in a normal setting where I would just read your lips while you're talking, I can't do that if everybody's wearing a mask. So there's a downside to it, but life goes on. And it's called Mild Inner Ear Deafness. I was born with it. It didn't develop over anything. Some people lose hearing because of bouts with meningitis, etc., or really bad fever. I was born with it. So, mild inner ear deafness is also known as Sensorineural Hearing Loss, or SNHL. And it's when there's damage to the tiny hair cells in your ear, in your cochlea. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to pronounce it like right all the time. But you have 3 parts of your ear. You have your outer ear, which is this, and then you have your inner ear, which is where you have your middle ear, where there are like 3 tiny bones, and you have your inner ear, which is cochlea, which is, it looks like a snail shell in all those biology books and the doctor's offices, and there's like a bunch of little hairs in it which have nerve endings inside of it that transmit messages to your brain. So those nerve cells are either kind of damaged or some might be missing, and it just, so I hear way less than people do. So you could be talking in my face, and if I'm not paying attention to you, I may not pick up everything you're saying. So you know, there's some people who they can sit down and they can hear everything. I am not one of those persons. If I'm not paying attention to you, I probably won't pick up what you're saying. I'll probably hear some of it, but I won't pick up. It's not as bad as some people think it is. And I really hate when I tell people that, you know, hey, I'm partially deaf, and they, are you hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth really loud? I'm just like, can I slap you? It's just, you have it for the rest of your life. So I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I'm slightly deaf, and a lot of people ask me, oh, you know, you can't fix that, you know, you can't like get an ear implant. I genuinely had somebody ask me if I can get an ear implant, and I'm just like, I didn't know that was a thing. If it is a thing and I found out it wasn't a thing, there are some surgeries that you could do, but it all depends on how bad it is and how much it really affects you and your quality of life because of it. My life really wasn't that bad. Just that I had hearing aids as a child. I had the inner ear hearing aid, so it would kind of go in my ear like a little earplug. I'm pretty sure that I have my old one lying around somewhere. I wore hearing aids from like standard 4 of primary school, and let's just say kids back then weren't necessarily nice. I wore hearing aids, and they're really expensive privately. I'm only just learning that there's a public institution called Dretchy in Trinidad and Tobago that kind of helps out with people who are deaf and may not be able to afford private healthcare with respect to it. So I'm actually looking into it, and well, some people, depending on how bad it is, you can do a cochlear implant, which is, I'm not too sure the details of it, but there's an attachment that comes from like right here, depending on which side, and it comes into your ear. I think I could be wrong. It's not a one ear thing. There's some people who can be deaf in one ear. I am not entirely deaf, but I have enough hearing loss that I'm considered partially deaf, and I need hearing aids. It's not bad enough that I need an implant, but I need hearing aids. And sometimes I do well without it. I've done pretty well without it for the past couple of years. My friends and my family, my close friends and family know that if I don't hear something, that they'll repeat it for me or they'll look out. I don't always like when people have to fend for me, but I appreciate it. I think my mom is the only person who knows how to talk to me at the right pitch that I will hear every word that she says. And my friends are pretty supportive about it. So, I mean, if you ever really wonder how come I'm done. You've ever maybe noticed that sometimes my speech may seem a little slurred or my tongue may be a bit heavy. I've learned from my doctor, because I've never really met anybody that may sound like me, or I don't know if I've noticed it and not noticed it. But yeah, you catch my drift. I don't know if I've ever, met somebody like me or similar to me and not realized, but that's why sometimes my tongue might be a bit heavy. Sometimes I might jumble my words or eat my words, or I might just speak like if I might be somewhat slurred. There's also a situation that happens sometimes where somebody might say something and right away I might say, huh? What you said? Pardon me? And it's not that I didn't hear you, it's just that I haven't processed it as quickly as I needed to, because it all goes back to those nerves, that I was telling you about in the cochlear. So somebody might hear something and they may be able to respond right away, because that's a regular person who hears like a regular person. Whereas I might have a delayed response because I heard you, but I haven't processed what you said as quickly as you thought I would have. So I would say, huh? And then I would answer you right away. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Well, that was the case, or that wasn't the case. And it's because I just need an extra second or two to process because of the issue with the nerves. So it has its ups and downs. Sometimes, I'm not sure if one ear is better than the other one. I don't know. There's some things I haven't figured out about it. I've learned how to live with it and deal with it, and it's not necessarily a bad situation. Sometimes I tend to get loud. Like if I get excited, I might get louder than usual. Or if I'm in between my friends, I might talk a little bit louder than usual. And I have those friends that say, hey, Tanya, get a little loud. And they don't mean anything by that. They just, hey, take it down a little bit, because we realize that you don't realize. And I'm grateful for that on them. There are some people who don't necessarily like liming or hanging out with me or talking with me, because I may get overexcited, or I might get loud or whatnot, and I don't realize it. And some people don't have the patience to deal with it, and that's okay. But it just comes with it. It's just one of those things that happens, and I'm learning to deal with it. You'd think as a person like that I would be more quiet than talkative, but I'm probably one of the most talkative people I know. Hence, you'll have 10 talks. So, I mean, a disadvantage sometimes. So, I don't like phone calls, because sometimes I don't hear things very clearly. And if I tell you something is loud, or a TV is loud, or something is loud, it is loud. My mom has had the strict rule. Sometimes she still implements it. Don't put both headphones in your ear, because you don't hear that well. And you know, it's just I read lips. Don't put your hand in front of your mouth when you're talking to me. I'm not gonna understand what you're saying. I am that friend that has captions on all of the TVs. As a student, when it comes to maneuvering, being a student with this problem, because the last health update I did was a while ago, I don't have updated files to say, okay, I can go to the disabilities department of my school. You get extra help, etc., etc. They give you like recorders, you can record in your classes and stuff like that. So as a student, I sit all the way in the front of my classes, and I try my best not to be distracted in class. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and you know, I try my best not to get distracted by class so I can pay attention, because you know, sometimes I have to focus a little harder than a regular student. And I am not students that'll ask stupid questions that I will start out say, like Miss will say the sky is blue, and I say, Miss, the sky blue, right? Miss, you wanna tell me what shade of blue the sky is? Like I will ask that question. And like a lot of students have walked up to me and asked me, you're a teacher's pet, you like to ask all the questions, you trying to kiss butt. And I'm just like, well, no, but alright, if you wanna be mean, but I don't care. I ask questions, and I know that there are other students that benefit from me asking questions, so I don't really care. With respect to the pandemic and being a student in the pandemic, I'm kind of grateful that I don't have to put up with finding a good seat, getting to class early, making sure I'm awake, making sure I'm focused and all of that. Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that affect you when you don't hear as well. For virtual learning, now I have both my headphones in. Love you, Mom. In some cases where there are captions available, I put it on. And I know that it might be a bit difficult for you sometimes, but classes that aren't recorded annoy me, because it's like, what if I missed something? What if I didn't understand something because of this situation? Just some of the things that come with not being able to hear as well as other people. It is a disability, but it does not disable. That situation, it's something I was born with. I don't know why I was born with it. I don't know what caused me to be born with it, but nonetheless, this is where I am, and I'm just grateful because it could have been worse. There are people who are in way worse situations than that's that. I am partially deaf. I am a partially deaf student. I'm a partially deaf person. I am partially deaf. I don't hear as well as other people. So feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. Hit me a message. Anything. Just try not to be too offensive. Try not to be offensive. Just say what you have to say. If you know somebody like me, I would love to talk to them, love to hear about their experiences. If they know anything about probably a deaf community or hearing impaired community, I would love to join. I don't know much people like me. I either know a fully deaf person or a partially deaf person where they are deaf in one ear. I don't know anybody who suffers from the same thing that I do. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of Tin Talks. Bye guys.